Hello there, ladies and gentlemen of the internet. This is brown skin. This appears to be an ordinary clock, but because of this brown skin, this is a bomb. Allahu Akbar.
And welcome to Reason Speak. It's Thursday. How you doing, everybody? September the 17th. You know what that means? That means, well, nothing. But it does mean that summer's kind of gone and winter is on its way. Hey, Kenny, what's up?
I am sick as fuck, and frankly, I blame everybody but myself.
Well, you do look a little pale.
Yeah. It's just part of my bullshit lighting setup.
Oh, it's what it is.
My light on my webcam is racist. It wants nothing more but for me to be white.
What's this with a white light? I mean, who invented that? Was that some kind of a creationist scientist who came up with that? But, you know, talking about Mahmoud, I mean, what the fuck his name is? Ahmed Mahmoud, the clock guy, the dude. I haven't really been following the details of the story. As far as I know, is some student with a science project somehow got himself arrested. I'm not quite sure how that happened.
Oh, it's very easy how it happened. First mistake was him being a brown kid. Second mistake was him having the name, what's his name? Ahmed Muhammad, I think.
Ahmed.
And
yes.
His last mistake was going to school in Texas. Those three things, they combine with one another. Oh, and I guess making a clock. Because
okay, I just don't understand. How does the guy's got a clock? He's on his way to school. I'm not quite sure the details. How do the cops get involved?
Have you seen the picture of the clock?
Well, it's a circuit board, as far as I can see.
All right, it's a circuit board and a suitcase.
Well, so what? I mean, but how does this guy get arrested?
Do you know what
especially if it's in a suitcase?
Look like? I'm not saying he should have been arrested, but if you took a circuit board in a suitcase through an airport, do you think
he did?
But do you think that any security guy would be like, oh, that's cool?
I'm fine. Did the guy go through an airport?
No. The point is anybody who would have glanced at that would have said, hey, that looks suspicious. I'm not saying he should have been arrested.
Oh, that looks suspicious. Like a science project. Oh my God, let's run.
First of all, I'm not saying. Listen, I'm not saying he should have been arrested because clearly after he explained it and they saw it, they should have been like, okay, it's a fucking clock. I get it.
How did he
but
get
the fact that they were suspicious when they first saw it is not. Look, they have these idiots in school since 10 years, suspending kids for doing things like, making a shape of a gun with their fucking fingers. All right? Do we suddenly say, oh my God, that's racist? No.
Well, Nathaniel,
it's just idiotic. It's just idiotic, but it's got nothing to do with racism.
Here's the deal, okay? I'm going to show you, because I know you polar bears don't do the whole talking thing very well. Now this guy, he's clearly not dangerous. This guy I feel safe with. You know why?
Why would I think that he's not dangerous?
Look at him. Look at this Caucasian skin. Clearly not a threat to anybody.
Yeah, you don't live in Israel, my friend.
But this fucker, no, hold on. This fucker here, worse than Hitler.
Watch out!
Look at that shit. Clearly a fucking bomb.
I agree. I think it was idiotic to arrest him. I got no problem with it. But they're talking as if they're using his talking point as if it's like the biggest story of the century. It's ridiculous.
Don't know how he got himself arrested. I mean,
well, that part I really don't understand.
There are a couple questions I have though, mainly regarding the teacher that freaked the fuck out and basically made all this shit go down. So I want to know, did she know or did she suspect? I'm pretty sure she suspected that he was Muslim. But my question is, how did she know beyond a reasonable doubt that he was Muslim? Because really all she has to go on is the fact that his name is Muhammad and his skin color. That's really the only things that she could use to deduce whether or not he was Muslim.
Obviously, she can't go on skin color. That's ridiculous. But his name alone.
This is Texas we're talking about. Okay? We're talking about people that think Arabs and Muslims are the same thing. So that's why I was saying she looks at his skin color and sees a Muslim.
Okay, that's a real assumption. I don't know if she's racist or not. Have you any proof? I mean, she might be. She might be a complete fucking bigot for all I know, but I don't know. She might also be like, you know, just a liberal kind of person who freaked out because there was something in his bag or whatever that she didn't understand what it was. It was beeping, and after all these school massacres, well, she was probably really, you know, just wary. What?
Okay.
You don't think that's like a normal, legitimate concern of a teacher?
No, because it was a fucking science project.
Exactly.
There's kids who bring in. No, hold on. There's kids that bring in like volcanoes for science projects, and these are things that actually do go boom. That could be turned into a bomb, I'd say probably easier than a clock. But yet, when a white kid named Chris brings in a fucking volcano, he doesn't get arrested.
No. But
so
again,
that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm sure that there are science projects that were brought in that could be misconstrued as dangerous, but yet they weren't. Just this clock was misconstrued as dangerous.
Well, which part are you arguing? Are you arguing that I'm arguing that he should have been arrested? Because I already said several times now that he shouldn't have been. Or are you arguing that it's not a bad idea when something is beeping to just look at what the fuck it is?
Hey, there's Ramona.
So that makes her an idiot, not necessarily a racist.
Well, I think there's a big distinction between looking at something and figuring out what it is and arresting a kid in front of the entire school. I'm pretty sure they took him to jail, questioned him for X amount of time.
But why are you arguing this point with me? I agreed with you that he shouldn't have been arrested. I think it was idiotic to arrest him. I never argued this. So why keep belaboring the point?
Children.
I'm just talking about whether or not it's, you know, responsible to look at something and say, hey, I don't know what this is, especially in today's atmosphere in schools. Apparently, you guys in the States are having problems with that. I don't know. I don't live in a country where they go on mass shootings in school.
Okay. Ramona is here. I'd like to welcome Ramona from the Richard Dawkins Foundation in Germany.
Hi.
Hey, Ramona.
Hey, Ramona. How you been?
I'm fine. I'm busy, very busy, but I'm fine. Do you hear me good?
Yeah, just fine.
Yep. Very good.
Okay, super. So, what's your topic?
Right now, we were talking about that poor young man in Texas who got arrested for being brown.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You heard about that?
Not especially, because there is a lot going on in the States with things like that, and
This is true. Talking about things like that. What's happening in Germany? I see you're getting a whole bunch more. Your population is swelling.
Yes, we don't need to make babies anymore. We get a lot to do.
Oh, see, I thought it was people having a lot of babies. I got excited for a second. I thought like German people were just fucking constantly. And I was
No, we're popping, but we don't make babies.
They're pulling out.
It's immigrants. It's immigrants.
Yeah. So in Germany, the main thing is to get one child, maybe two, when you have time. You know, so that's why Germany, yeah.
No, I think the German population has a duty to go and work harder, longer, in order to afford to pay more money into the welfare system that's going to support these new migrants that are coming into Germany.
Yeah. Yeah, so now we have our refugees. Yes.
Yes.
And we have lots of them. And as you guys know, everybody's happy with them.
I just got one thing to say. one thing to say. Now, these guys, all these refugees, at one point, as far as I can tell, they were all in Turkey.
No.
Right?
No.
They weren't in Turkey?
They come from Syria.
I know they come where they come from, but they all sort of got out of Syria, they got into Turkey, and then they went into the rest of Europe, right?
No. Some of them came from Morocco or from, overseas. They come with the boat. That's a tragedy, actually. That it would be easy when they come from Turkey, but they come with the boat from
North
the
Africa?
border. Yes.
Well, I know, but there's no way they're going to get from a boat in North Africa to Germany. It just doesn't work that way.
Yes, no, but they come first to Greek.
Okay, no. Okay, well, I'll stop right there. Okay. Sorry, I said Turkey. Okay, let's say I meant Greece. So how the hell did the hundreds of thousands of refugees who land up in Greece?
Not only Greece, there are a few.
Or wherever, they still got to land up somewhere. How the hell do they get to Germany? Because Germany is nowhere near the Mediterranean.
Okay, let me think of the map a little.
Mm-hmm.
They come over Macedonia, Ungarn. I think the Americans say Hungary.
Hungary, yeah.
Yeah, Hungary, and then over East Switzerland or Austria. That's the way they come.
Look.
That's the way they come. As you have a map.
Okay, but the question here is, look at Germany. Germany's way up in the.
Well, I'm kind of confused about why they would be going from Morocco. I mean, I don't know the politics of each of these countries, but why go,
they won't go from
Morocco all the way over to Greece?
No. Hold on a second. Just so you know, in Morocco.
This is the way they go. They go from, let's say, Libya or Egypt. They go. Where there's Greek. Oh, you can't see my thing. You see where Greek is? Greece.
Yeah.
Greek. Okay, this is they go there, and they go to Bulgaria or Macedonia. And then Serbia, Romania, Hungary, and that's how.
Well, what I'm saying is, how the hell do they get through all these places?
Well, first they go by boat, and then.
I understand that, but why does Greece let them go to Macedonia? Why does Macedonia let them go to Serbia? Why does Serbia let them go to Hungary? Why does why do they get this free sort of travel? Ticket to get to Germany, and then everything starts saying, "Whoa, let us see."
Because of Schengen, they don't have the right once you set foot in Schengen territory, you do not have a right to stop people.
I know that. We're not even there yet. We're just leaving Greece. Okay, we're in Greece.
Okay,
how the hell do they get to Macedonia or Albania or Bulgaria? Go all the way through those countries, through Serbia.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I don't know. Teddy Bear here is Nathaniel is right. It's a Schengen contract or something. What they have.
Yeah, the Schengen Treaty.
Yeah, but the thing is, the problem is not that they're all coming to Germany. The problem really is that they don't want to be registered in those countries where they come first, and this is a big problem. Yeah, and now they want to. There are a lot of refugees. They don't not want to come to Germany, but they want to go to Sweden because they have relatives there, or they come. A lot of them want to come to Germany because they have a family in Germany. A lot of them. Okay, and that is the main reason why a lot of them want to come to Germany, and because Germany is cool.
Yeah. So
how many of these refugees?
Hold on though. Can I pretend to be a refugee and get free go to all these countries? Can I do that?
When you lie? Yeah, sure.
Yeah. I don't have a problem.
I'm still struggling with something.
This is a problem. This is a problem. I know what you're coming. Why you asking? This is why I say they have to be. Now they want to change the regulations, because now, when you want to come and you have no papers, then you can go right back. Because what they do, there are some of them. They come with. They throw away their papers, and they say. Let's say we have from Poland and all those countries too. They want to come, but they're safe places. But they want to come because they want to have a better life in Germany, and that is the problem. They throw all away their papers, so you cannot register them. And they say, "Well, I come from Syria. I come from there." They start lying now. And all the others. They want to take the opportunity to do the same thing, and that's the big problem. And we need a place for the real refugees from Syria and all around that country.
I still have a question.
Yeah.
The refugees get off they go by boat and they get off the boat in Greece, let's say. For some reason or other, Greece isn't part of the Schengen agreement. Even though it's part of the European Union, somehow it's not a Schengen country or whatever. Why is that?
Yeah. I don't. Yeah.
Second, what puzzles me most is this: is that the refugees are in Greece. Okay. In order to get to Germany, they have to cross the border of another country, say Serbia or whatever.
Yeah.
How does Serbia why is Serbia letting these guys in? How are they getting across that border? Like, where's the
problem? Yeah, the problem
I just don't understand that.
They don't. Did you see the last few days what Hungary, I don't know how you say it, Ungarn, how they treat those people because they don't want to let them through or they keep them. Some of them they don't let them through. The others they just let them because you know what? There are too many. There are really too many. You can't stop.
So
thousands.
That's the solution to every problem.
There's thousands of people.
Well, I guess
coming, I
guess that's the way the Roman Empire kept going all those years. The armies just outnumbered everybody else whenever they went into battle, and they couldn't lose.
You know what?
Actually, they were often outnumbered. It was their discipline that won in the most cases.
Yeah.
Okay, I've got an idea for this refugee European holiday tour. Here's what we got to do. We come from Serbia or fucking Syria, whatever country is fucking up down there, and we go through Greece, but we don't go straight to Germany just yet. We stop off in Holland, where they're so stoned that they don't know what the fuck's going on. So we chill out in Holland for a little while, wait till October, and go into Germany during Oktoberfest where they're too drunk to figure out what's going on.
I want to be a refugee.
That's the way to do it.
Guys, I have the feeling that you really don't know what those people went through, really. I mean,
we know what they went through.
Yes, I mean, you don't.
Well, we just care. We do know what they went through, but why did they have to? Why didn't they go to another Muslim country? Why didn't they run away to Saudi Arabia or Iran or somewhere?
This is something I want to tell you. Listen, you know what the Saudis said? They're gonna pay for 200 mosques to build in Germany.
Yeah, I know.
They did.
I know. I tweeted about it.
Why are they so stingy? Fuck, 200 only? They could afford 200. They can afford 1,000 mosques in Germany. I demand that Saudi Arabia. How about
terrible.
2 mosques in every locality, every municipality?
I don't want those mosques in my country. Okay, so stop it.
Why not?
No, really. This is so terrible, to hear that. And let me tell you, all the refugees, when you talk to them, they are very disappointed from all those countries around because they could have been saved quicker. And they don't like to go on a boat and lose their children and lose, you know what I mean? They would be, sorry, they would be happy to go to the next country where they can be safe.
Why couldn't they just stay in Greece and see what the United Nations did to them?
Isn't Greece all fucked up, though? Isn't
Greece
fucked up?
No, listen, Greece is so poor. Listen, didn't you hear what happened with Greece? No. We had to pay for that they can stay in the euro, you know, that they can stay in our European euro market thing here. They're so poor. Everything is the how you say, the old people in Greece. They didn't have anything to eat for weeks because the bank were all closed. They don't have nothing. Shut up. Really?
I do not feel sorry for them. I'm sorry.
Yes, but no, but they can't handle so many refugees. They can't. You know, they cannot handle because they had to loan money from Germany so they can give the old people the how you say, the rent. So they have their monthly pay, so they can buy food. Pension, right?
I'm not sympathetic with the refugees in any way whatsoever.
No, me neither.
You know what? You guys are both terrible. I think.
Yeah, but I'll tell you why.
Hold on, let's hear
Kenny. Taken right now to fund my refugee European tour. I want to have you know that when you remortgage your house to give me all that money, I'm going to spend all of it on pot and wooden shoes in Holland.
Yeah.
All the refugees are going to get wooden shoes.
A decent
fuck you guys.
I might add. Very philanthropic of you, Mr. Kenny.
Yep. Well, and then we're going to go to Germany for Oktoberfest.
Well, I really don't think that they belong in Europe right now. And in fact, I am not sympathetic at all. This is essentially decades of approval for terrorism.
Well, I don't know.
That came to bite them in the ass, and now that it's happening to them, they're upset. And not only that, the worst part is, if you ask them still today, is it okay in response to Jews, etc., they would say, yeah, that's fine. It's just not okay when it happens to us. So no, I have no sympathy for them. I'm sorry. I couldn't give a shit.
No, I don't either. But I do have something to say to follow up on a comment that Ramona made, and she said there's so many of them that you can't stop them. Well, then why didn't they all just go to Israel? There's so many of them, they couldn't be stopped. Israel has no problem, they're a democratic country. They would have let them in. They wouldn't have killed them.
Do you know how small Israel is? You know how small?
Not a clue. Tell me how small Israel is.
Israel is as large as a state from Germany. It's called Essen.
It's as large as New Jersey.
Well, hold on a second. If they're as large as if they're so small, then why do they want everybody to immigrate there from all the Jews from all over the world? I mean, there's got to be half the population that's not living in Israel of Jews in the world outside of Israel. So if they all went to live in Israel, it would be more people there than if the refugees went there. So it doesn't make much sense.
Right. So, where are we at with sending everybody to Holland and getting shoes?
Holland actually doesn't want most of them.
And don't worry, but hold on, don't worry about terrorism though, because if they build any clocks, we'll throw them in jail.
Yeah,
we'll promptly do that. No fucking clocks.
Could you put that picture up again, Kenny?
I'm not actually that worried about terrorism. When it comes to most of the refugees, that's not really one of the reasons I oppose it. I oppose it for other reasons.
Oh wow, check that out. Oh, so basically what you're saying is we should send all these refugees to New Jersey.
Oh God! Holy!
Well, Germany, you have
spray
an
tan them. Fucking give them some spray tan. Give them all
something?
the show and let them talk some bullshit.
I want to say, I do want to say one thing about that idea.
I think they should go to the States because America started the whole shit.
No, I think they should go specifically to New Jersey, because if 250,000 or whatever refugees were actually sent to New Jersey, I guarantee you that they will integrate into American society in New Jersey like they don't do in, say, Dearborn, Michigan, because New Jersey doesn't tolerate being told no New Jerseyan or whatever. They don't like being told what to do. I know that.
Yeah, yeah.
So, Syrian refugees to New Jersey. There's an organization. We should petition. We should get the governor of New Jersey behind us.
Nathaniel, let me ask you this: if Israel and New Jersey were to get in a fight, who's gonna win? It's just a completely off-topic thing. I want to know.
Assume that New Jersey is the neighbor of Israel now.
They are. They're right next to each other, and they're gonna go to war because fucking I don't know. They're gonna steal their spray tan. So New Jersey goes to war with Israel. Who wins?
I think
everyone loses. How about
I think it's clear Israel would kick New Jersey's ass.
They will fucking cut you. Have you even been to New Jersey?
Yeah.
All right. Who wants to watch one of these crazy pregnancy jiggle video that Kenny has so kindly supplied?
You worded that to make it sound so fucked up.
All right.
It's like Kenny has this pregnancy jiggle video located in his porn folder.
All right. Anyway, I do have it lined up, so please, if you'd like to watch it, just send me your money.
No.
So why doesn't America take a few refugees? Because I mean, they're to blame the first place, because.
That's right, Kenny. What's your excuse?
What's my excuse for not? I mean,
well,
shit.
You represent America.
If they're not fucking crazy.
As long as they don't move to Georgia.
As long as they don't Allahu Akbar me, they're cool.
They're guaranteed to Allahu Akbar you. That's their thing.
Not necessarily.
Well, not if they're dead, but.
Not if we just over American them. Like the day they come in, you have to completely Americanize them. Like take them to a monster truck rally. Take them to a strip club, let them eat some fried dough off of a hooker's body, and then they'll forget that Allah bullshit.
Yeah, until they get to the mosque.
I mean, they'll be done with it. Let them fucking lick bacon off of a porn star's ass. They'll throw that Quran out pretty quick.
Guaranteed?
I think so. I mean, let's just take a poll here. Quran or eating bacon off of a porn star's ass?
Quran.
Okay.
Well, let's see if Christianity can maybe change my mind.
I want to know if they can heal me, because I'm sick right now. I need some faith healing.
Here we go.
You are pregnant, right? You are due to deliver a baby. Right now, this is almost 3 children. When you deliver them at just a baby, they die. When they just make, they die immediately. So you have this one now, the child is due. This is a baby boy. It's outside there. It's under the canopy outside. Jesus love you. So come, I will give you this wristband. You deliver.
Here we can see the woman the prophecy concerned coming forward from under the canopies at the overflow congregation. Just as the man of God had prophesied, the woman was sitting outside the auditorium under the canopies and was pregnant. She makes her way up the stairs, heading inside the main auditorium of the church to honor and confirm the word of prophecy. Okay. There was a woman.
So he prophesies that there was a woman sitting under this canopy that was pregnant. Wow, how specific. You've got this canopy that's probably over, I don't know, X amount of thousand people, and one of them just happened to be a woman, and just happened to be pregnant, although I personally don't think she is pregnant based on like what happens later in the video. But it's like, this is just an example of the type of shit that these people do, because this guy, I mean, he's just one of a large handful of Christians that do this type of bullshit where they convince people that they can figure out things psychically, basically.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's asserting that he somehow knew because God told him that there was this woman sitting out there. But she probably has a fucking earpiece or some shit and knew to come up and all of that.
Mm. Should we carry on?
Yeah.
Pregnant with a baby boy outside the church, whose delivery was due, and that in the past she had given birth to children who had all died shortly after birth. Inside the church, she moves towards the altar to meet Prophet T.B. Joshua.
It's your wife.
Yes, sir.
Well done.
Thank you.
The reason why I say well done is that Jesus has solution. Well done, guy.
Thank you, sir.
Now, wow. The mighty name of Jesus Christ.
Stretching his right hand, the man of God prays for her in the name of Jesus Christ. Immediately, there is a visible reaction in the woman as Prophet T.B. Joshua offers prayer under the influence of the Holy Spirit.
This is prayer in the power of the Holy Spirit right now. What was happening?
Vous voyez le ventre de cette femme bouger. Elle agit contrairement à sa volonté. Le Saint-Esprit à l'œuvre.
Estamos viendo la liberación de esta mujer, como su vientre se mueve con respecto a una profecía diciendo que lleva 3 bebés que han muerto en parto.
Watch and see her expression. You can tell something extraordinary is happening to her. From the look of her face, you can see she's not comfortable. Look at her stomach jumping. Watch her scream, see what's happening. Her stomach is moving. This is the result of the prayer offered by Prophet T.B. Joshua just moments ago.
Hey, pause the video, bro. Ramona wanted to say something.
No, I'm sorry. I was going like this, telling that I need more food. That's all.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
I thought that was a point to say that this is bullshit. Yeah, you can go ahead and play it.
Well, it is bullshit. It is bullshit, but go ahead.
Tony, it is the position this child has been, the baby has been coming out with. Before that baby coming out, a lot of doctor have been wrestling, nursing has been wrestling. Before the baby come out, he has become tired and died. But this time around, he has to reposition to come out straight. Tony, before now it was bottom, but it's now turning right. It's coming out with the head. What is happening in your stomach?
My baby is rotating. Yes. 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 Yes.
God rotated that baby. That's
baby.
just one of his many powers. He can rotate babies.
My God.
Amen. Thank you, Jesus.
Oh, man.
Thank you, Jesus.
It's free. Okay. Take her to the toilet, huh?
Thank you, Jesus.
There is a woman outside there.
What's with the wristband?
Like
The wristband helps. It's like a satellite dish. It helps the Jesus signals go to her wrist, and then the wrist links directly to the uterus, and it makes it rotate so that the baby rotates because Bible stuff.
You know what? Those African people there are such good actors. They should go to Hollywood, really.
Mm-hmm.
They really should go to Hollywood because they do a very good show. I watched a lot of that stuff. Have you seen when they are cursed, you know, and when they're lying on the floor and
Yes, I've seen that.
This is so great. They do a good job, really. Mm-hmm. You know, an actor in Hollywood, they have to practice long for doing things like that.
Or they could just do a bunch of PCP. That'd probably give them the same results.
There you go.
I always think that that's what happens, like half the time whenever there's any type of demon possession that's happening. Because it's like if you look at, I think it was the Salem witch trials, where they thought that a bunch of these young girls were witches, but they found out, like later, with modern technology, that they were just eating bread that had some type of mold that makes you trip out like you took acid or something. So I think that's what's going on when people have demons, is they're just high as fuck on something, and they're freaking the fuck out, and they don't need a cross, they just need a safety blanket.
So it's not like some kind of a demonic spiritual entity that enters the body?
Maybe if we're watching Reefer Madness, maybe. But last time I checked, it's not.
No. Huh.
They just need a blanket.
I've got to change my whole worldview now.
Yeah, I mean, as somebody who has had lots of bad trips on mushrooms as well as acid, I can tell you that having a Bible thrown at you is not a good time.
Well,
when you're having a bad trip and having someone qualified as throw water at you.
As somebody who's qualified as a minister, priest, imam, and rabbi, which I will proudly present my credentials to anyone who wants to know, I feel that I have the authority, the moral authority and the academic authority to make decisions on behalf of everybody who is a theist, because I have these credentials from every major religion in the world.
Especially women, right? Because they shouldn't be...
Well, no, women, unfortunately, women will just get told what to do by their husbands. So I don't have to make that decision.
Well, in that case, Ramona, go make Sid a fucking sandwich.
Ham sandwich, please.
I thought you were an imam.
Oh, shit,
no
sorry.
Ham sandwiches.
No ham sandwich.
I think turkey's...
I'll have a, what do they call it? Fake ham.
Kosher turkey. Do you need, like, kosher shit? Isn't kosher isn't killing things a kosher way? Isn't it more brutal than like the normal way?
Yep.
But it's advertised as less brutal. That shit don't make no sense.
It's I actually went through I listened to a lecture from a rabbi about how they do it and why they do it that way, and what his explanation was that, and it's just such bullshit. He says what they do is they bash the animal's head, you know, like the cow's head. They stun the animal on the head so it doesn't know what's going on. And once it's stunned, then they slit the throat and let all the whatever the kosher thing, that's how they, and that's what they think is the most humane thing going.
So you can either hit an animal in the head and behead it, or do they just slit the throat? Do they behead it or
somehow? But the thing is that they claim not to be abusing or inhumane to the animal while they're killing it because it's in a stunned state.
Yeah. Let me tell you something.
Wait a second. I'm not for that, but modern abattoirs actually stun animals before they kill them. That's actually a legitimate process in modern.
So you think because they do it that's okay for the animal?
No, but I'm saying that claim is no different than any other.
But I am protecting the animal rights here.
No, can't you just shoot it? one bullet to
you
the
guys
T-zone.
shut the fuck up and let me talk. How modern? No, you guys been not shutting the fuck up.
We're
for
reasonably talking so that you
Shut the fuck up. Now shut the fuck
You
up
have
and listen to me. It's how modern slaughterhouses work. Whether it's kosher or non-kosher, you actually stun the animal before you kill it.
Oh no,
That's how you do it. Now, I believe in some cases they use electrodes, but I'm not sure exactly how. But essentially, it's the same thing. So I'm not saying kosher killing is humane, or that modern slaughterhouses are humane. But unless you're going to be a vegetarian, you're going to be eating meat from an animal that was stunned first and then slaughtered, regardless of how it was done.
Okay. Thank you for that lesson in agriculture.
Well, I don't know if you've ever been to a slaughterhouse. I have.
No, I haven't. That's why I said thanks.
I actually have. So, you know, I mean, I hear a lot of stuff about kosher slaughter, et cetera, and I honestly am kind of not very much in favor of what goes on, but there's very little difference. I mean, there are some differences, but practically speaking, very little.
But they also say they make circumcision on an 8-day-old little infant,
but
and they give them a little wine, and the child doesn't get any narcose, we say,
anesthetic.
Yes. You know what I mean? So,
yeah, but we've had this discussion before. I don't approve of that. But that's not what you guys were talking about. It's not what I brought up. I mean, I agree. But that's like, you know, me bringing.
I was just doing some. Excuse me, guys. I was just doing some reading on the side here, and it seems to me that stunning an animal before killing it is actually considered humane killing. So.
Yes.
So this kosher method that the rabbi was telling me about seems to be humane. So you just said that that kosher killing is not humane.
No, I said that
why?
No, because in modern abattoirs, I believe they have a certain method of the actual death blow, which essentially is, I think they drive a spike through the brain of the back of the head, which instantly it means death instantly for the brain. So there's no sensation at all. But with kosher killing, they actually do slit the throat. So there's some debate whether or not an animal will feel that, whether or not it's in the stun state. I don't know. I'm not a biologist, and I really don't know the ins and outs. But what I'm saying is that stunning is a normalized method, whether you're talking about kosher or non-kosher abattoirs. They all use stunning.
Point well taken.
Yeah.
So since you're both an imam and rabbi, how do you prefer to do your circumcision, Sid? Because don't they do them at alternate times? Isn't it when you're a teenager if you're Muslim?
By mouth?
Yeah,
and
a teenager when you're Muslim, yeah.
So you just bite the foreskins off?
Yeah, bite it off. Just like my forefathers did.
I honestly think it's a very barbaric practice. I've never shied away from saying that. I've never disagreed with that. I find it very uncomfortable to even think about, to be quite honest. So I don't really support that. No, but it's got nothing to do with slaughterhouses. I mean, it's a totally different topic.
Well, I mean, you calling it barbaric is offensive. You're offending everybody. I'm just trying to ask Sid about his religious beliefs, and here you are talking a bunch of bullshit about things are barbaric. So, Sid, when you bite the foreskins off, can there be some, some leather incorporated into this? Maybe some hot candle wax poured on the person?
That would be going against the letter of the law according to the scripture that was laid down in writing many centuries ago by those who knew better than us. Yes.
Oh, well, of course, because God actually talked to people back in those days, so they knew what was going on. Gotta snip the foreskins off, kick women out of the village when they're on their period, and
all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Back to Germany. Have you finished dinner? How was dinner?
Yeah, good. Thank you.
Yeah, good. Sauerkraut and schnitzel?
No, I don't. You don't eat sauerkraut with schnitzel.
Ah,
Yeah.
those are the only two German words I know.
And I don't like sauerkraut. Really, it's sour.
Sauerkraut is the tits. I like sauerkraut.
No, I don't like it.
Okay, let's have a sauerkraut discussion. Are you pro sauerkraut or are you anti sauerkraut?
I'm definitely anti sauerkraut.
Me too.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for
pro...
if sauerkraut didn't exist, Nazi Germany would not have emerged.
Oh, really?
Right.
I'm blaming
It's
sauerkraut.
all because of pickled cabbage. Pickled cabbage killed millions of Jews.
No, and if sauerkraut wasn't a vegetable, none of this would have happened.
Yeah.
Well, when it comes to sauerkraut, I only like sauerkraut on German meat, like bratwurst. I don't like sauerkraut on regular-ass hot dogs. Fuck that shit.
I've never eaten a kraut that wasn't sour, personally.
Okay. It's like the Room of the Stones this week or something? I don't understand what the fuck is going on.
That was Sid's attempt at comedy.
Oh, yeah.
That's why they bring me on to do the jokes, not Sid. Because all he's got is kraut jokes, and that's about it.
It's like 70-year-old jokes.
Okay, so but I have something else to say about my refugees. Yes, I wasn't finished.
Yeah.
Now there's the next problem we have. I heard that in the houses where the refugees are, that now there are a few refugees. They are very, very frightened because they noticed that there are a few fundamentalists living with them in those houses, and they are scared to say anything about this. And this is really getting a problem. This is actually the problem I have with the refugees, not with all the refugees, but the fundamentalists who came over, you know, because those are the ones I don't really want to have here. And now we have to be real careful. And yeah, this is no, you know. So now we have those refugees. They flew from the ISIS, right? And now they still in Germany, where they stuffed in those houses. They have to listen Quran verses every night. They're preaching to each other, you know. And in Germany, yes, that's what I say. The problem is a lot of refugees, they flew because of this fundamentalists, because of ISIS and everything, and now they are here in Germany, and they have to listen to that shit again.
Why do they have
to? Because
is it German law?
No. They are scared. They're scared to say anything, and yeah, they are scared of them, you know.
But they're in Germany.
Yes, that's what I said.
Does Germany not have any laws there, policemen? What's going on there?
Listen, no, Germany is still busy with the people. You don't know how many of them are here. You know,
no,
this is so many. This is and you. Yeah, it is really, it is.
Well,
when you think with you few Mexicans you have there over the last 50 years, this is what we have now in 2 weeks. You have to imagine how many people are coming into our country. And the problem is that we don't know who really came, you know.
There's Mexicans in Canada? That's a thing?
Actually, there are.
No.
No,
I
there
didn't
really
know that
are.
was a thing.
And
I'm
most
just
of
kidding. I knew
them,
there were
most of them
Mexicans.
are
Just
okay,
joking.
and the rest of them sell drugs down on in Skid Row.
Well, I mean, you know, like Trump said, some we assume are good people. I'm just going to go out on a limb here and say maybe instead of constantly playing the Quran through their little megaphone thingies, maybe they should play some Rammstein. I mean, they're in Germany after all. Play some
We
fucking
should get the South Koreans to come to Germany to show the Germans how to play music so that
Listen.
propaganda music.
I don't like
K-pop. You have the wrong impression, really. Yeah, they are now in those houses. They put them in tents. They put them in houses, old houses. You know, they're stashed. Thousands of in one complex of houses, you know, and when you sit there and you hear in the next room, you know, you hear them talking the fundamentalistic stuff. You know what I mean? Of course they are scared, because they're scared that they want to start to do things here too. So what my idea is to put an SOS thing on our page, that if they noticed that there are fundamentalists there, they should tell us, so we can tell the police to watch out there, you know. So there, we don't have ISIS in town, you know.
Why? If you know about this, how come the police don't know about this?
Because one guy was telling this on TV, and I have contact with Syrian people in Syria. Because I have contact with them, because did you know that there are atheist organizations in Pakistan, in Syria, in Lebanon?
Yes.
So I'm in contact with them, yeah, and they have contact with refugees in Germany.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I know. So, and this is why I said we're gonna put an email where those refugees can tell us, and
they won't.
So without telling us a name or anything, you know, or
they won't.
You know what I mean, this is like as a serious side note. You should give them a link to Tor or some other anonymous browser. That way they can tell you using that instead of like regular old fucking whatever browser they use in Germany.
If these guys are living in tents, where are they going to get computers?
They communicate with their cell phones.
They probably have some phones.
They do. They communicate on Facebook, but yeah, they wouldn't know Tor if it hit them in the back. They wouldn't know it at all.
It's not fucking hard. I mean,
okay, no. Listen, the problem is not that you understand. The problem is not the communication. The problem is they don't tell those people that they are atheists, and they are in Germany, and they still don't tell those people. You know what I mean? They are scared to say or say anything, or they don't want them to know that there is somebody in that complex who tells anybody.
We get it. We get it, but I totally get it. But that's why I said they won't tell you. You can put out as many alerts as you want. They're not going to tell you.
Why?
They need some encouragement.
I think I agree with them on that one.
I mean, there has been such rare occurrences when these communities come forward and say this guy is potentially a problem. Almost exclusively, we find out through police work. by putting somebody in there. It's almost never from the community themselves. They're either too scared, or they agree in part, or it's a combination of both.
Okay,
or they feel some sort of affiliation to them, which they really shouldn't, but they do. So I think relying on them to do it, it's a nice idea. It just doesn't mess with reality.
I will try, and we'll see what happens. Yeah, and because the thing is, Germany is how you say, überfordert. They have too much to do with the register and getting houses,
overworked.
Yeah, right. And so if there wouldn't be so many people, all the German people, they are helping so much.
Do you have your refugee in your house? Do you have a refugee family in your house?
I have. If I would have room, I tell you, I would go and get a teenage boy who's here without parents or so.
Yeah.
I would get one and that he can live with us, and I would do that really. But what I do is
you turn him into an atheist.
I go over there to the houses and I do things with the kids. So that's what I do.
Speaking of teenage boys,
I teach them German, and I do other stuff, art stuff, because those kids they're traumatic. They went through so much, and they need other things now so they can express their feelings. So I do art stuff.
I have to say again, I am unsympathetic. I look at what happens in the last 10, 15 years in Europe because of the Muslim immigration, specifically to the Jewish population, and I really, again, I completely am unsympathetic. Frankly, they can all burn in hell for all I care right now. All right, I'll tell you, the real persecution is not Muslims. The real persecution going on is, again, Jews. They're the ones fleeing Europe in droves, by the thousands, in record numbers we have not seen since before World War II. Literally. This is not a figurative statement. Literally have not seen since before World War II. So who are the real persecuted people in this story? Again, I don't care about they brought this on themselves and their own fucking culture, and now they're bringing it to Europe, to assimilated people, to an assimilated minority who is actually fleeing for their lives.
Where are these refugee tent cities where the Jews are all living in? Please, let me know.
What?
You said Jews are fleeing Europe in record numbers.
Yeah.
So where the hell are they? Where are these refugee camps?
Mostly to the States or Canada or to Israel, other places. But yeah, they're leaving Europe.
Now, wouldn't it make sense if they went to Muslim countries like the Muslims are coming to the West?
Why would they want to do that?
Because why wouldn't the Muslims go to the Muslim country?
Sorry, man. Sorry, no. Why would they ever? Who would ever want to fucking do that? Sorry, man.
Me, I'd love to do that.
Yeah, sorry. No. No. Look, I'm glad if somebody takes them in, but I don't think it should be Europe. I see the results of what happens when they take in these hordes of Muslims in Europe. What happens?
Damien mentioned something very interesting last week on the show.
Yeah, where the hell is he, by the way?
He's probably slept in. I'm not sure.
No, he was in the chat and he wants the link, but I'm not friends with him on Facebook, so I can't.
Why didn't you say so?
Give him the link.
I gave him the link, didn't I?
Because the fucking polar bear has been talking. Speaking of the polar bear, one way that we can make the refugees snitch on each other when they're doing crazy Muslim shit is they need someone to encourage them. And of course, Nathaniel's not going to agree with this because he's an apostate, but who better than our Lord and Savior, Marilyn Manson?
Who indeed?
Encourage them to snitch on crazy fucking Muslims when they do crazy Muslim shit.
This is a real serious issue for me. My parents live in France. I am part French. I actually am going to vote in the next elections. And I can tell you something right now. I am considering, for the first time in my fucking life, I am considering voting for the Front National for the first time ever, because nobody else is opening their mouths about this shit. And I am so pissed off with all the obfuscation in this crap. I am just so tired of it that after 45 years of thinking that these guys are the enemy, the Front National, I actually might just fucking vote for them. That is how bad it is. All right? That's a serious issue.
Okay, the problem, you know, there is a problem with Germany. All the people in the world, everybody in the world, wants to say, keep Germany's down, because, well, because of Hitler, because of that.
No,
And now Germany, you have them where they are now, you know, because now they want to show. That's why they are also overwhelmed doing that, because we all want to show, hey, we're not Hitler anymore. We're not. We take them all. We love
see, that doesn't
all
make
the people.
any sense. It doesn't make any sense. Like to show, so Merkel, I saw what Merkel said yesterday. It's a, as we say in French, it's sitting old. It's a blight. It's a shame for Germany. What she said, that essentially she said, you know, Islam belongs to Germany and Germany belongs to Islam. And if you're concerned about that, why don't you go more to church? I mean, you know what? And her solution to trying to show that Germany is more humane is to take in more people with a fucking Nazi ideology. Let me tell you something. I grew up hating the Nazis, all right? Hating them. But the Nazis are better than what's coming in with this ideology. At least the Nazis didn't put fucking veils on women, all right? So let me tell you something. This is a goddamn problem. And when people in Europe are turning a blind eye to this shit, I get concerned.
Yeah, but that's, you know, I have to tell, I mean, I don't have a problem saying anything against foreigners, or if they're fundamentalists. I don't give a shit. I say it, you know. But you know what? Really, you're not. Everybody in Germany now is you are. When I say something against something I don't like, you know. Well, are you sure that you're on the right side here? You know, things like that. This is how you have to be very, very strong person to really say your opinion. You know,
Can I take a moment to say hi to Damien?
Hey, Damien.
Hello, Damien.
I'm glad you caught my rant.
You came in at just the right time, because I was actually talking about what you said last week. And if I remember correctly, you said back in the 70s, during or after or whatever, because of the Lebanese civil war, and Australia took in a lot of Lebanese refugees, you said, and if I'm not mistaken, you said exactly something like this: Australia is still reeling from that decision of taking in all those Lebanese refugees. What did you mean by that?
Yeah, I didn't say reeling. I think that's too strong of a word. We're still feeling the negative consequences of doing that.
Feeling, okay.
Because they didn't particularly assimilate very well. They brought their issues with them, and one of the major issues they brought with them was their way of solving conflict was violence. And that's what they brought with them. And then they, for a big part, in certain areas, they created their own enclaves, and which still exists today. bit of a history. If anyone's ever heard of the Cronulla riots that were 8 or 9 years ago now,
Yeah, I remember them.
that was a result of the Lebanese Muslim community. That was a kickback from the local community against that. So that's where we're still feeling the negative effects. I mean, the cold hard reality is what a lot of people forget is for any culture or any people from any culture to move to a different culture, for that new, let's call it mother culture, to absorb them, they have to be in small enough numbers for that main culture to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Now, that generally is not too much of a problem if the cultures are pretty much aligned, not that different. For example, during the Vietnam War, we took over 200,000 Vietnamese refugees in a very short period of time. It didn't cause too much of a problem because the basic values of both cultures weren't that different.
Yeah.
This is different again, and I heard your comment about Germans still trying to say, look, we're not Nazis anymore. But the irony of that is, and this is also what a lot of people are missing, is Islam and the Nazis had a very, very happy marriage during World War II.
Right, they had, yeah. They had. With the Muslim brothers and stuff like that, I know.
Oh, it's so sweet to see it all coming together.
Got a question. Again. I've got a question I would like to ask everyone to see how they answer. I heard Peter Hitchens pose this question about a week ago on a panel on a show in England. And regarding all these refugees, at what point do you stop calling them refugees and start calling them migrants?
There are points you have to go through when their life is in danger.
They're never migrants. They're always refugees.
You only a refugee when your life is really in danger. When you come from a country where it's like Syria, where ISIS and war is and stuff like that, then you are refugees. Like, say, in Poland or in Serbia or those countries, they are safe now. We had war there 15 years ago, okay, or a little longer, but now it's a safe country. So those people, they're not allowed to come to Germany as a refugee. They can come to Germany, get a visa, and try, that's the way they can come, but and they have to get a job then, okay? But they try to come now too as refugees. This is the big problem. Now all the others, right, from other countries were poor countries. They want to come too now, and that's what I told before. And this is what is bad, because they take the place away from the refugees who need a place here, because their life is in danger. And this is a really big problem,
Yeah,
so,
there's a lot of sides to this that, in general, media organisations aren't even mentioning.
Yeah.
Well, it depends who you're talking to. They're referred to both as migrants and as refugees in various articles. I'm looking at the BBC, and in some articles they're calling them migrants. So it depends on who's writing it, and so yeah, I mean, to be a refugee, you essentially have to prove something. To be a migrant, you don't have to prove anything. So I think they're siding on.
Right. Yeah.
I think it should just depend on whether or not they like sauerkraut.
Ah, shut up.
Because I don't think Ramona is a citizen of Germany. I think she's a refugee because she doesn't like sauerkraut.
Yeah, probably.
Just saying.
She certainly doesn't look German with that veil that she's wearing there.
You're breaking up all over the place, Sid.
Fucking Sid. Your technical bullshit. Fucking Canadian internet. God damn it.
Watch out, because you're being recorded.
I mean, I have noticed there are some media outlets that are slowly starting to change their tune on how they're wording their reporting and what they're actually showing. Like for example, on one of our major news outlets last night, they showed the clashes on the Hungarian border. And all the wordings that the reporters were using were rather neutral, so they weren't taking a side either way. So I thought that was they even showed part of an interview with one of the Hungarian government spokesmen saying rather negative things that I agree with, and that was that, you know, they're violent people and they don't want them in. And they didn't judge him for that, so I thought that was a good sign. But then, a friend started showing me other articles and video clips, or telling me about video clips that she's just watched of that same clash, because I was telling her their news outlets just started showing it, that there was a lot happening there that would change people's opinions that still wasn't shown, and that was that some of these migrants were throwing little kids and babies over the fences, and these are high fences, and they're landing on concrete. So they're showing complete disregard for their own children. And then the Hungarian authorities are having to give them medical care, obviously, load them up in ambulances and take them away to hospitals.
When you throw a baby on concrete, does it bounce?
The concrete is that sort of...
Sid, you're breaking up, man. It sounds horrible. I don't know if you can fix that. But.
Yeah, your Canadian dial-up is terrible, and there's no excuse
there we go. That's
to everybody in the chat, it may take a few minutes for you to hear this question, but do babies bounce when you throw them?
Thank you.
Do that. No. Is there anybody in the chat who can answer this question?
It all depends. There's two things you got to take into consideration: the gumbiness of the concrete, and also the race of the baby, because different babies bounce, different races bounce different ways, at different heights.
Different races bounce at different heights.
Yeah. It's a race thing. So you'll find that the Asian Chinese babies probably bounce, boom boom, and they don't bounce so very high. Apparently, the black babies though, they're the highest bouncers. Amazing.
Now, is it because
you got that springy afro thing working for you?
Well, that's what I was going to ask. Is it because of the springy afro, or is it because of the stereotype that black people can jump higher?
It's apparently black babies can bounce. I don't know why.
It's the extra padding too, but no, it's not true, because most Africans would be considered skinny by American standards. So yeah, that wouldn't work. I think it's the afro.
The afro.
And the extra muscle in the leg that they apparently have. I think that does a lot of cushioning there.
Who has an afro? Earl. So, like, if I were to sling Earl over a fence, long as he lands head first, he's good.
I think we do also bounce pretty well. It's our big noses that if we land on our nose, and we're doing all right, I think.
No, if you I think Earl would cut you and have your neck severed from your body before you got a chance to sling him. But that's kind of the way I think about it.
I don't know, because when Trump wins the presidential election, I plan to go work for border control so I can throw just random people back into Mexico. I plan on building
if Trump becomes president, I'm going to try and immigrate to the United States as a refugee.
I plan on building a giant trebuchet and just loading them into it and fucking slinging them over the border. And Earl's going to be the first.
I'm so glad I'm not in the States right
now.
So
hold on a sec. If Trump becomes president, what's his? He's like super ultra capitalist. Is that correct?
Yeah, he's that. And
okay, now Canada is quasi socialist, right?
Yeah.
And now would I be considered a refugee?
No, but actually, no. To be fair,
I think skeptic knowledge has cracked the code.
No, look. To be fair, look, I hate Trump, and there's no way in hell I'll vote for him. Out of all the Republican contenders, if I had to vote for one, I would probably vote for John Kasich. He's the moderate guy. He said they should just accept the fact that gay marriage is legal. Just get over it. And I met him, and I know his character a bit. So
so you're voting for the French government, now you're voting for the American government.
Yeah, I can vote in both. But no, I'm most likely voting for.
Newsflash.
Okay.
Nathaniel Harari is the Illuminati.
Yep, he met the French government at Bohemian Grove along with
that's right.
the Republican Party.
No, but to be fair to Trump, even though I hate him and I don't like being fair to him, but he's not completely a conservative. I mean, that's one of the reasons why. That's one of the reasons the real diehard conservative base is trying to hit on him, is that he actually held opinions in the past for a long time that were in line with the Democrats. Okay, so he did not oppose certain things in some social programs, etc. Certain social programs he's approved of in the past. So he's not like a diehard conservative all his life, etc. He's not like the sort of guy who they'd want to see get in and approve, like, basically no taxes for anybody. I think he's, in fact, even in favor of raising taxes on the rich. So it's really kind of hard to pin him down. And frankly, his record is really spotty on sticking to one or the other. So Trump, I would not put Trump in the completely capitalist category. I think in business, yeah, but not necessarily when it comes to government.
But what's more entertaining, that shit or me working for the Coast Guard under Trump and going to your house in Israel and deporting you to Germany? Which is more entertaining?
Why would I be deported to Germany?
Because Trump doesn't know the fucking difference. Trump doesn't know the goddamn difference.
Yeah, but
Germany, Mexico,
you're
China, it's all the same to him.
Yeah, you're forgetting I might be in Japan by then. So
it doesn't matter. Trump is going to be president of the world. He's got jurisdiction over Japan too.
In terms of pinning Trump down, wouldn't just the fact that he wants to bang his daughter, doesn't that qualify him as a card-carrying right-wing Bible thump?
No, I mean, look, he's a total.
What?
I mean, he's a total idiot.
What do you say?
He's not. No, he's not an idiot. He is literally the most uncouth person that has run for the White House, and as far as I can remember, frankly, probably in all of history, to be quite honest.
Did you see that article about his father? He was arrested, or he was part of the KKK or something.
Well, Trump is basically the embodiment of the used car salesman.
Yeah,
that's basically what he is.
Trump is no racist or KKK or anything. Look what he said. What he said about he's an equal opportunity insulter of every single kind of minority and majority group out there. He's like, I'll give him this. He's completely consistent in pissing everyone off. So no, I don't think he's necessarily racist against Hispanics or Asians or Jews or whites or black. I think he just likes to piss everyone off. I that's one of the reasons why I think he would make the worst president in fucking history. But no, I don't think he's a racist or anything like that. Frankly, I think you can trash Trump on so many other issues other than just calling him a racist. I think that's just an idiotic argument, frankly. He's insulted people, but, like I said, he's insulted every shit. He's insulted half the fucking population of the planet by insulting women over and over again. I just, no, he's just an equal opportunity asshole, frankly.
He's the answer to all of America's problems. He's going to put the women in burqas. He's going to make me part of the Coast Guard, give me a gun. I'm going to fly out to Israel, kick you out of your house, and deport you to Yemen.
I'm actually really curious, though, if he's going to win a few primaries.
We're going to put that Israeli military training to the test.
Yeah. No, I'm really concerned. He might win some primaries at this point. I don't know. Ben Carson is supposed to be up and coming right behind him, but I don't know, man. Trump actually might have a couple primaries in the bag. It looks like if he does, that's a bit worrying. To tell you the truth, I'm not saying that I think he has a chance of winning the general election, but you know, if he gets a couple primaries at the start under his belt, he does have a chance of being the nominee.
Boring. I want to give a shout out to one of my favorite podcasts, The Scathing Atheist. I don't know if anyone's ever listened or heard about The Scathing Atheist. I wholeheartedly recommend them to every single person, every single atheist in the world. If you're not an atheist, after you listen to a few of these shows, my God, you will be. Oh, they are brilliant. There's three people who kind of run this thing every week, every Thursday. There's Heath Enright, No Illusions, and Lucinda Illusions. The three of them, names to remember, The Scathing Atheist. Bookmark it and listen to a podcast, or just download some stuff and listen. It's brilliant. Okay, that was my plug for them.
Yeah, they're almost as entertaining as us. Almost.
Well, they're not quite as entertaining. They just get paid more money. They just have a better way to appeal to their Patreon supporters.
How do you know they? Hold on. How do you know they get paid more money?
Because they
I get all the shows.
No, their shows support their patrons support their shows, and that's their living.
Well, our patrons are better than their patrons, and we should show them by our patrons giving us more money than them, because fuck those guys.
Well, the thing is, do their patrons watch our show?
Their patrons should watch our show. If you are a watcher of The Scathing Atheist, you should watch our show as well. It's on the same day, so if you want to just binge on... It's not at the same time, is it?
I have no idea. I just download the podcast, like, you know, or it just gets sent to me automatically. Gets sent to me automatically once it's done, because I just I'm subscribed to their podcast somehow through my phone. Because what I do is when I'm walking my dog or just out and about for a long time, I'll just plug in my headphones, just like I have now, except I'll plug it into a podcast, and they're an hour long, and they're great.
So yeah, watch them after you watch us, or before you watch us, wherever they are. But don't watch them at the same time as us. Yeah.
Well, I never watched them. It's a podcast, it's an audio, so I've never actually seen it.
Whatever, same difference. I'm sure there's some people that just listen to this show. I listen to some shit.
No,
I listen to Drunken Peasants. I rarely actually watch it.
I never really watch or listen to it.
I don't watch them or listen.
How about you, Damon? Okay, let's talk about Drunken Peasants. Watch or no watch? Listen or no listen? Drunken Peasants.
About boring.
No watch, no listen.
You know, I'm actually going to put this out there. With TMGV, and I'm actually not a paid shill for TMGV. But TMGV is better than the Drunken Peasants, and they don't even stream in HD. That's saying something right there. More entertaining. There's more beard going on because Randy delivers with all the beard.
And they're actually funny. TMGV.
Yeah.
They actually are funny. I've never actually had a chuckle at the Drunken Peasants, as weird as they get and stuff. But
I don't watch them.
With Pimp, with Randy, with D-Way, fucking hilarious.
So yeah, go watch TMGV on Saturdays, I think. Yeah, watch them on Saturdays, watch us, maybe watch The Scathing Atheist, and give us all your money on Patreon so that we can send refugees to Nathaniel's house.
Yeah.
Talking about refugees, I'm still a little concerned about what is the future of the refugees in Germany. It's all very well that today that they're coming in and they're in a bit of a no man's land right now. But what's a year from now going to look like?
I don't know. I think that more are going to come over. And the only chance we have in Germany is to try everything to integrate them into our, country.
Just like you did with the Turks.
That's because that's where so
we have listen. We have a lot of Turkish people. They're doing fine in our country.
Yeah.
They have jobs. They even study, in university and things. What
Are
you
they
see on
integrated though?
TV, this is not.
Do they
This is
integrate?
bullshit, But the Turkish people who have been living here now for 30 years, they're doing just fine. The ones who are not doing fine is who came maybe, let's say, 10 years ago or 15 years ago. You know what I mean? But the others, they were doing just fine.
Did they integrate though? The ones that came 30 years ago.
Yes, they did actually integrate.
Yeah.
The problem is that the new ones who came over here 10 years ago or so, they didn't want to learn, the German. The kids don't learn Germans, and when you don't know the language, it's very hard to integrate yourself somewhere,
Yeah.
But this change, we changed now. The last few years, everybody has to learn German now who wants to stay here, and so we force them actually to learn our language.
Well, that's what I mean. If they don't integrate, if they don't learn the language, it's a sure sign they're not integrating.
Right.
Well, see, we get called racist here in Australia if we even suggest that we should make refugees learn English. We get called a racist for
English is a crap language. Not German. Now there's a language.
Yeah, Schmetterling.
Yeah, I mean, in English, we've got words like militant atheism, which is a good transition.
Yeah, but German has the same word, and it's probably like 45 letters long. And
well, I was saying that's a good transition to talk about that bullshit you told me about earlier today. About our Faith Warrior friend. Isn't that what his name is? Faith Warrior on YouTube?
Dude!
Adam Miller.
Adam Miller. Should we have a Miller time?
I just put the video in the chat, so when you get it ready, we can thoroughly destroy him and his bullshit.
Right.
The first thing I want to point out. The first thing I want to point out is that it's called a documentary on militant atheism in the Soviet Union, yet the video is only 3 minutes and 20 seconds long. So, I mean, I watch a lot of documentaries. They're usually not 3 minutes long. They're usually an hour or two. I don't know if there's like a time stipulation for documentaries. But when I think documentary, I don't think of 3 minutes of bullshit on YouTube. Okay.
But this is Adam Miller we're talking about. I mean, he's openly declared World War III on atheists, so whatever.
That is actually true. I've watched him before. Let's see what this one is.
I think you've got the sound turned off.
I think you're right. My mistake, sorry.
In the 30s, during the rule of Joseph Stalin, relics of the Tsarist past were tracked down and destroyed. Out his window, Stalin could see the Church of Christ the Savior, where Nicholas had dedicated the statue of his father. In 1931, Ladislav Mikosha was just beginning a career as a cameraman.
The director of the studio called me in and said, "Here's your big assignment. You're going to shoot the Church of Christ the Savior. How they are destroying it." I've been asked, why didn't you refuse? Why didn't you protest? I was just a boy, and to disobey an order meant to lose everything.
Okay, what's the point of this video here? I mean, other than atheists are bad and
Point is,
atheists tore down this church.
Yeah.
we'll discuss the video once we see it. It's only a couple more minutes, Nathaniel. We can do it.
Oh, really? I'm surrounded by Russians. I don't have any sympathy for either side.
I was astonished with this barbarism. How could they do it? There were some things I couldn't even raise my hand to film. But I had to. I filmed everything.
Years later, on the site of the church, the Soviet government constructed a gigantic swimming pool.
Every time I would remember what happened. Feel it again. It was unbelievable blasphemy.
It was not just churches that Stalin destroyed. Millions were carted away to the dreaded Gulag camps. Millions more executed. Every man who had signed the last Tsar's death warrant died by a bullet. Stalin's enemies included anyone who could remember what happened. Like history itself, they were erased. Then, in 1991, the Soviet government, in turn, collapsed.
Okay, so
Well,
that's our documentary on militant atheism.
very touching.
First, I want to cover just the semantics to militant atheism, because that's a word that I feel is completely meaningless, and here's the reason why. When you throw militant in front of something that's an ideology, like, say, Christianity or Islam, what that word means, militant Islam or militant Christianity, means you're going to use military force to enforce your ideology and fight against those who are the enemies to your ideology. And you can only have that if the ideology contains principles and rules and laws and guidelines for how you're supposed to live your life. Now, atheism doesn't have any of that, because all atheism is the belief that there are no gods. And it's not even a declaration that there are no gods. It's just, I, as an atheist, don't believe there's any gods. How exactly can you enforce that with a military? How can you enforce that in a militant fashion?
Whenever I've been called a militant atheist, I've immediately translated it by saying, "Oh, what you mean is I vocally disagree with you." But to me, that's all it means. But you're right. You can't force something that has no rules.
I mean, it's impossible. Like, if I went out right now and killed a bunch of Christians, and I said I did it for atheism, they bring me into, the court and the presses, and they're like, "Why'd you kill those people?" I did it for atheism. That's nonsensical, because there's nothing in atheism that says kill Christians. There's probably not even oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
It's all right. No, finish.
Okay, I was saying that you probably couldn't even find a passage in Richard Dawkins' God Delusion, which of course isn't an atheist Bible, but some people look at it that way. You probably couldn't even find something in there to justify killing Christians.
Some non-atheists look at that. No atheist actually.
Well, no. I know atheists don't, but I'm saying, like, that's kind of looked at as the book for you know what I mean.
By non-atheists, yeah.
Well, to to be fair, when the Amazing Atheist did the video burning everybody's Bible, he burned the God delusion to represent atheism.
Yeah, but that was a joke. I mean, I think he is an idiot, but that was a joke. I understood it right away.
You don't believe in Manson, you don't believe in the Amazing Atheist? Fucking bear in your bullshit.
Yeah, well, I rock, that's why.
Yeah, but it's like, there's no such thing as militant atheism. That cannot be a thing. It especially can't be a thing when atheism tends to go hand in hand with humanism. And humanism, by definition, is kind of not necessarily an anti-military thing, but humanists typically aren't for killing a bunch of people.
No, I mean, I always think it's funny. I think we all know this anyway, but people like that clown Adam Miller and so many other people that always bring up Stalin, and they never mention that he was a trained Jesuit priest, and nor do they ever mention the main reason he went after the Orthodox Church was not because they were religious, but because he wanted true power, 100% power, and the only way he couldn't achieve that or come close to achieving that with the position the church held at the time within the Russian society, because the church held a lot of power. So he had to eliminate that power. That is why he did it.
Yeah, essentially, it's like killing the royal family when you take over. You kill everyone in the family, not just the inheritor of the throne. You
Exactly.
You know. But yeah, so great. So he understood that the Russians were essentially a bunch of ignorant peasants. What's new about any of this? I mean, this has been argued to death for fucking the last 10 years. Come on, guys.
And what Stalin was trying to promote was his communist regime, basically, and the way that he was kind of setting it up, and this is kind of how, this is where communism tends to kind of lead, is the idea that the state is your god. The head of the state is your god, so you don't want any other gods interfering with that.
Actually,
that's the same reason.
Doesn't really say that. It's just that the dictators who decided to go the
I'm talking about when it's been implemented. When communism's been implemented, it tends to go in that direction.
Yeah.
The idea that the state is God, and it's basically the same narrative that the Christian Bible and the Islamic Quran and all of those things say. There's a reason that they say, don't worship any other gods, follow Allah or Yahweh, follow all of their rules exactly, is because they put these gods in a position of absolute power. So since Stalin wanted to essentially be a god and to have that position of absolute power, he couldn't have any other gods going against him.
Yeah, that's right. Then it's the same with all the dictators, you know. All the dictators, they want to be a sort of god.
I'd like to follow up that last video with a quick 1-minute video about the person who actually made that video. This is going to be interesting, I think. I hope.
This is going to be so insane.
He should be a certified crackpot.
Hey, Gutterson, asshole. Remember the whole Barbra Streisand effect that you and all your cronies were mentioning? Well, that's all a bunch of bullshit, because really what happened was you all used this as your publicity stunt in order to get yourselves attention. It's the same old thing that you people have been doing forever. Listen, Deepak Chopra has been fighting you people for 25 years, even before you were born. So here it is. Just because you have a bunch of computers does not mean that you people are something new, because 80 years ago in Russia, you same people took over the churches and killed all the priests. That's who you people are, and I'm going to take you all down. I'm going to make it my mission. I'm telling you again.
So I have several problems with that video. Number one is that guy's shirt. What the fuck? And the fact that he didn't hide his mic, which draws my eyes to the mic and thus draws my eyes to the shirt. It's fucking
Wait,
terrible.
I'm curious. Who the fuck is this person? I've never heard of him before.
Adam Miller.
Adam Miller is a faith healer.
Yeah.
Really?
He's a faith healer?
He was caught out, and now he's... Hold on a second. He was a faith healer. He is a faith healer, I guess, who obviously is very successful at conning people out of their money. And he was caught out. He was, he was kind of outed as being a con artist. And of course that now, and because him being outed as a con artist is affecting his business, people aren't coming to be faith healed anymore. So he's losing his, he's losing
I remember this.
So now he's suing.
Vlogger. Yeah, it was a vlogger from Richard Dawkins Foundation who exposed him. That's right, I remember.
Yeah, now, Ramona might know a little bit more about Adam Miller.
Well, before we talk more about Adam Miller, since he's a faith healer, I want to know if we can all just, like, spiritually connect to him to heal me of my sickness, because I have a slight cold. I think Sid has a slight cold as well.
Yeah.
I've been taking this bullshit, which of course is crap, fucking modern medicine, and it's crap. We need to pray to Jesus.
Throw mine away as well.
Yeah, throw that Canadian crap away.
Medicine, Benylin, you're no good. Benylin, no good. Buy it.
Yeah. So everybody in the chat too, join us in prayer to this guy and the guy from earlier that made the baby rotate. We need both of them to heal us.
What?
You're doing it wrong. That's
you are, Kenny, I'm sorry, man. That's the quote of the evening right there. Damien just pegged it. Sorry, man.
What? You're doing it wrong?
Yeah.
How do you do faith healing correctly then?
I redefined faith healing for those that aren't informed on what it is. And the new definition is, give me money, you will feel better.
Okay. We have to give you money, specifically.
Yes.
Yes.
Because I'm the faith healer.
Okay. Now, is that real money or Australian kangaroo bucks?
Australian kangaroo bucks.
Okay. I don't have any of those. I've just got real money.
The weirdest thing is, I went to New York once, and I went to the famous place. I forget what its name is.
That really narrows it down.
and I watched this guy on stage, and I had to, of course, pay money to do it.
What? Carnegie?
Give money, and then I had to watch this guy on stage. And when I left, I felt so much better.
You went to the place, you watched the guy, you felt better.
Yeah, it was the it was what's his name from the late night show, I think, one of the late night shows, Scottish guy. What's his name? Used to be on late night shows. He used to give me a name of a Scottish comedian.
I really don't know any.
Anyway, no, it wasn't Billy Collin. It was a guy who's involved in British TV. Used to be on the Drew Carey show. You remember the Drew Carey show?
Oh shit! Someone's challenging fucking.
The Drew Carey show. He was
bullshit.
Drew Carey's boss in the Drew Carey show. I forget his name.
I never watched the Drew Carey show. I like Drew Carey, but I never watched. I don't watch sitcoms, so.
That was the last time I watched TV. After
last time was
a long time ago.
The last sitcom I watched was 1998 with Seinfeld. That was it. I stopped watching sitcoms after that. I just haven't been interested.
Anyway, my point was that he was a comedian. I paid him money, and I felt better when I left. What's the difference between faith healing? What's the difference between the con artistry of faith healing and comedy?
Well, see, Damien said he can heal us, but Bart in the chat says that he's the real faith healer. So now I'm going to need to know exactly how you plan to heal me, Damien, because Bart is apparently Dutch, and he's going to mail me some wooden shoes full of weed. What's your plan?
He's just going to send you drugs.
Are you going to pay a kangaroo? Can you pay a kangaroo?
That is not faith healing. He's giving you medication. That is not
Hold
faith
on a second. I think the wooden shoes should be given equal opportunity and equal value with what's in them, because they're both grown out of the ground. The ground is the ground. They didn't one come from one ground and one come from a different ground. The ground's the ground, and they both came out of the ground. So when you say, mail me wooden shoes filled with weed, you got to give the wooden shoes as much credit as you have to the weed for...
Ramona. Have a good evening, Ramona.
Good night.
Oh, okay, good night, Ramona. Thanks for joining us, and cheers.
I hope I can join you again next time.
Every week the same time. I'll send you a link.
Alles klar, Kommissar.
We actually plan on replacing Bye.
Tschüss.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Yeah, I want to pray, but see, there is faith because you have to pray to the wooden shoes filled with weed. Now, what's your plan? Like, am I praying to a kangaroo? What's going on here?
Well, the thing is, you're playing to something that grew out of the ground. You're mailing something that grew out of the ground. I mean, if you're wearing Dutch clogs, they grew out of the ground. And if you're smoking Dutch weed, they grew out of the ground. I mean, I don't understand.
Bart isn't offering you faith healing. He's offering you homeopathy. I'm offering you faith healing.
Ah, there's a difference.
I'm offering you salvation, so you can all go to hell.
Yeah.
Okay, first of all, you have not accepted Marilyn Manson as your Lord and Savior. Everything you say is irrelevant.
I don't give a shit what you say. I don't give a shit what you say.
You bring up scripture.
You're the one seeking help. You don't dictate terms to me, boy.
Well, the thing is, the way it's I'm an expert in these things. The way it's structured is in Galatians 5:19 through 21. It actually tells you the way it's structured there is that no one can ever get to heaven. It's impossible. So, dude, everybody, no matter who you are, no matter who you were, no matter who you're gonna be, you're going to hell.
I don't think so.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm not buying the whole Jesus saves thing. Sorry, man.
No, but Jesus
doesn't
save.
Bart,
That's the
send
thing.
me the shoes. Damien's going to send me the kangaroo, and whichever one heals me first wins.
The hoax is...
I never said I was sending
he didn't die. Or at least the story is that he died but didn't die. So therefore, if he died for me, he didn't die for me because he's not dead.
Well, look, I need you to send me something, okay? If I'm giving you money, you better send me something from Australia. Now, I don't care if it's a kangaroo, a koala bear, Jim Jeffries, or one of your Australian hookers. You better send me some Australian shit.
If you send me $100, I will send you a mint, unused, original $2 Canadian coin.
You have $2 coins?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're fucked up in Canada.
Why?
It's worth $1 in the U.S., you know.
What's the point, though?
We have $1 coins and $2 coins.
And you can see. Where does it say $2 on it? It's got to say it's there it is. You probably won't be able to see it because it's kind of engraved into the silver. I don't know if you can see.
It looks like a fucking 10 euro piece, I know, or a 10 shekel piece. In fact, it looks exactly the same.
It's probably a shekel since it's said we're talking about.
But it's really good because they work in the car wash, you know, when you go up the car wash.
They look almost exactly the same 10 shekel pieces. They're, I think, a tad bit smaller, but yeah, they're a tad bit smaller. I got some in my wallet over there, but yeah, it's almost exactly.
Yeah, and the picture on the in the middle there is
the Queen.
Okay.
Our Queen.
Yeah.
Mine
Same
and
as our
Damien's.
coins.
Damien and mine. Our Queen.
Did you hear Jeremy
up for this,
Corbyn
Damien? And you have your hat on in the presence of the Queen.
Wait, did you hear Jeremy Corbyn wouldn't sing the national anthem at the memorial event for the Battle of Britain?
What?
Yeah, you didn't hear about this? This is true. This is not one.
No, I actually do. I actually follow news that counts. I know
It's fairly important considering he is now the Labour leader of England and he's bucking for Prime Minister, and there he is not wanting to sing the national anthem. I think that's a pretty telling thing about his character, about his.
At least he's just admitting he's a lousy singer, maybe.
He should just sing the American national anthem, regardless of what
Yeah, no,
country.
I think it's a deal breaker for most people.
No. Like during the World Cup or whatever the fuck they watch in Australia, kangaroo boxing, before each match, they should sing the American national anthem.
I have a solution. I have a solution for the whole monarchy thing, and here it is.
Change the anthem in Australia to Waltzing Matilda. That's
Nathaniel,
number 1.
Can you back me up on this historical fact?
Maybe.
It was probably during the Muslim invasion of Spain and Portugal. But for some reason or another, the monarchy of Portugal moved itself from Portugal to Brazil.
No. Nobody knew about Brazil then.
What?
No, nobody knew what during the Muslim invasion
Couldn't
of
it be
Spain.
okay, wasn't?
The Muslim invasion of Spain happened in the
700s.
10th century, the 10th century or the 9th century. I can't remember which, but yeah. Yes. You mean the Reconquista? That was during
the monarchy, for one reason or another.
No, it never moved to
from Portugal to Brazil.
No, never moved to Brazil. Not as far as I know. No, it's certainly not during the.
I might be wrong about when, but I was just trying to get somebody who knows history to confirm that the monarchy moved from.
And you tried and you failed.
I'll have to go to Wikipedia because I know it did.
Yeah. Please.
Portuguese.
I've just never heard of that before, honestly.
Well, let me be the first person.
That doesn't matter though. Just make shit up.
Oh, there it is, right there.
That's how history works. Make shit up.
Transfer of the Portuguese court to Brazil, it's actually called.
Yes, Bart says this is the best show yet. I told you guys, us bullshitting about Damien's faith healing abilities to Canadian money.
I have to go on record, this is the most boring show that you guys have ever done, or at least that I've ever been in.
No one cares.
Well, we really appreciate your input.
Sorry. Would you rather I lie? Would you rather I lie? Would you rather I lie? That's all I gotta ask.
But you're on this show. You're on the panel.
You lie anyway. We know about you.
You're on the panel, though. Like, you could turn your camera on and start juggling.
The transfer of the Portuguese court to Brazil. Blah, 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 blah. Hey, there you go.
Okay, and when did it happen?
In 1807.
Okay, so that's a bit after the Muslim.
Well, that's not the point, for fuck's sake.
Like,
if
that's
it's in
400 years after the Reconquista.
And why is that relevant?
Well, because you were quite specific with during Muslim. I said I had never heard of it.
I don't know.
But certainly not.
Came to my mind. I couldn't think of another reason, so that came to my mind. But obviously there was another reason, and there was another time. But that doesn't negate the fact that the Portuguese crown moved from Portugal to Brazil,
right,
which you didn't know.
I have to ask critically here. What does that have to do with anything we've been talking about today?
Well, what I'm trying to say is the
a
British
very good
monarchy.
question.
Okay, here's the answer then. If you'd like to listen and not butt in,
I'm not a fan of that.
I will say that this is the solution for the British monarchy: is to transfer from Britain to Australia. Just move the whole family, everything from Britain to Australia, and now Jeremy Corbyn can become Prime Minister, and everything's wonderful, okay? That was the solution. Jeremy Corbyn not singing the British national anthem. Thank you very much.
That's a very bad idea, and I have a list of reasons. Number one, they don't have guns in Australia, so how are they supposed to keep themselves safe? Number two, Damien's in Australia. Number three, Australia's kind of in the middle of bumfuck nowhere when it comes to, like, the map, you know? Like, it's far as fuck from everything else.
Oh, it's not
Yeah,
very far from
where else would
Japan.
you
It's
want
not
to
very
put all
far
your
from Indonesia.
prisoners?
It's not very far from Malaysia. It's not very far from Papua New Guinea. It's not very far from.
Where else would you put your? Do you want to put your convicts? You know, not in my backyard.
Well, let's face it.
I think they should. I think
the
they should be in your
monarchy-
backyard with the refugees.
The monarchy kind of deserves to be in sort of convict status because of the way they ultimately assumed the power and maintain power.
But they
Back
don't
in the
have
day.
guns.
No.
They don't have guns, though, and they're not going to be safe.
Back in the day.
No, we do, but no. Send the monarchy.
No,
to
no, no.
New
Australia's. Come on, Australia's.
I just have to say that the Windsors have been one of the worst regimes in the British monarchy in British history, and I pine for the days when there were better choices to overthrow that sort of milk-fed, you know,
I
crappy
pine for the
family.
days where they don't exist anymore.
No,
Oh,
I'm actually a
that's
monarchist.
cruel.
When it comes to Britain, I actually believe in the monarchy, but not when it comes to the Windsors. They're a blight. They're a blight on even the name monarchy. They're an insult to the very
I
concept.
don't see monarchies as being remotely relevant anymore.
They're not relevant.
Why are we still attached to them? There is
They're
no
not
reason.
relevant. They're as relevant as a Renaissance fair. Okay, but we still have them because they're fun. But essentially, yeah, they're not relevant.
Why do they hold authority over us as a nation?
Well, they don't.
Why do they? Yes, they do. We have a Governor General. What do you think the Governor General does?
Yeah, okay. So the last time that came to a head was what 50 some years ago or 48 years ago, something like that. Okay, and ever since then, you know,
it can still happen.
Yeah, I don't think it ever will. Let's be real.
That's not my point. My point is it can still happen. Why? I think that's actually disgusting. And also, whenever they come here, it's actually part of our constitution. Whenever they come here, regardless of the reasons why they come here, we have to foot the fucking bill. Why?
No, I know, but that's up to look. I'm for the monarchy in Britain, not in Australia. I think Australians reject them, but they consistently don't. I mean, they've voted on this a few times, and they consistently stay with the monarchy. That's up to the Australians.
We've had one referendum on it, and it was a few years ago, and you were right. It wasn't. It was voted against, but the issues with that, which is why people are calling for a new referendum, is it was rushed. It was very poorly organised, so a lot of people weren't even sure what the hell they were actually voting for or against. So there was no proper amount of time allowed for either side to actually educate people about what they were actually arguing. So it was very...
Either way, look, I think I'm for, again, Australia rejecting the monarchy, but it's odd to me that the monarchy has less power in Britain than it does in Australia. You know, the monarchy doesn't have any power in Britain. It's you know, governance in name only. I mean, they really don't do anything. In fact, they're not even allowed to do anything. They have more say with the Governor General in Australia than they've had in England for centuries. They can actually not. It's against the law in British law for them to influence anything one way or the other. It's against the law. But not so with the Governor General because it's outside of Britain's borders. So they actually have more power in the colonies, so to speak. It's bizarre, but you know, there you go. That's why I think Australia should reject the monarchy, and Britain should just keep them as a figurehead. But you know, if I had my druthers, I would change the family. That's all I'm saying.
I believe if a referendum was to be held today, they would be voted out. But
yeah, so why don't they have a referendum?
We're just gonna wrap up the show right now. We've pretty much gonna run out of time pretty soon. So if we could have some closing statements, perhaps from.
We ran out of time an hour ago, my friend.
Yeah. Okay. Then in that case, I'll give you the first shot at plugging and saying goodbye and doing your outro.
I don't really have anything pertinent to say.
Okay. Well, we'll see you next week, right?
Maybe.
Damien?
No, I got shit because it took you an hour to send me the link.
I know, we're a bit of a cunt. I didn't. Thank you to thanks to Mental Outlaw, to Kenny there, who pointed me out to the fact that you actually wanted a link. I didn't even see
That's
that you
right.
were
Be
clamoring
fucking
to get
grateful.
in.
I'm the only fucking reason you're even here. Be fucking grateful, you Australian fuck.
I was gonna say you're the actual reason he actually was able to come talk about gratitude, man.
You got to come on here, talk your Australian bullshit that nobody gives a fuck about because of me. You're welcome.
Now you are being really funny.
Okay, we got to give a shout out to the guys in Dallas right now.
I'll give you 50% off your next faith healing.
Hold on a second. We've got secular TV folks at the AposticCon in Dallas. Hey, I know you guys are watching us live. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I can't wait to get them back to their workstations, and so that we can hear all about the adventures of AposticCon in Dallas and about people and about everything. Kenny, your outro, my friend.
Well, you should go check out my channel, Mental Outlaw Studios, which will probably have some new content up. I want to get something up on Friday because I've been sick as fuck and not able to do this shit, but I think I might be able to record something today. Watching my channel will have some interesting effects on you. You will become rich and famous. All of your wildest desires will be met. Fuck Nathaniel, and see you guys next week.
Excellent. Thank you, everybody, for watching Reason Speak on Secular TV. My name is Sidney Winston. Please donate to our Patreon account. Become a patron. I believe we have many different ways to take your money. One of them being merchandise, T-shirts especially. All the links are in the down there in the details. Thank you again for watching, and please stay secular, and we'll see you next week.
Sid's a communist.
I'm a communist.
He is.
And he's gay.
And I'm gay.
And he's a fascist.
And I'm black.
He's a secret Muslim, too.
And I'm black.